I like to fix things. I like to change things. I like to make things better. For everybody, not for me alone. But listen to what God said years ago. I think this is Paul's writing in Galatians. And you need to go to this and read this. And you need to elect people based on one of these two ways. Now, a coin's got two sides. Now, I feel like that personally myself, for the last 33 years, I have been striving to be righteous. I've mentioned this in another tape. I've tried to be a godly man, okay? Part of this is the nature of the flesh, and part of this is the spirit of God. You either go one way or the other, okay? The acts of the sinful nature are obvious. Sexual immorality. Now, I can tell you this. They dunked me in the lake 33 years ago, okay? And when I came up, I was a new creature. And I traveled. And I'm in Atlanta. I traveled 9 states strong and in my business. So I'm in a motel by myself a lot of times, okay? Almost all the time. I have a wife. I don't fear my wife. I reverence my wife, and I love her. But I don't reach over and pick that phone up, or I don't go to one of those bars and try to find me someone, a female that is not my mate, that I took an oath to. Okay? Never do that. Never do that. So when Lowell and John and them want to pull a lot of that stuff on me, go find it. I didn't fear Lowell. I didn't know I was going to be running for this. I didn't fear. The reason I didn't have the sexual immorality is not because I was going to run for office and I didn't want them to dig anything up. It was because, simple thing, the fear of the Lord. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. I'm trying to be a righteous man. Now, I don't hit the mark all the time. But my desire is to be a righteous man. If you can become, the more righteous you can become, the more righteous decisions you can make. So I've been making a long time a righteous decision about sexual immorality. Okay? Now there's a lot of others up there, and you need to read them. One of them that it seems like to me that has really affected our government is the one here that says selfish ambition. The governor, he was a senator, I think of Indiana, and he saw that the Democrats were going to have a hard time. So he said, I'll just take my $17 million or $13 million in my campaign fund. I just won't run this time. Wow. How would you get $17 million in a campaign fund? Okay, let's talk about a gift to a politician like that. There are some. There are people that say, that man's got some morals. I want to help him buy some signs or whatever. But there's so much of this other. Blue Cross Blue Shield in Alabama. They give millions and millions to the Democrat PAC fund and millions to the Republican PAC fund. Now, nobody knows, after they pass it through 2 or 3 PACs, who got the money except the person that gets the money. He knows it came from Blue Cross Blue Shield. In the state of Alabama, we got one carrier that you can do business with. So they purchased themselves a monopoly through these 35 senators and House of Representative people that we have elected since we've been here. Now, what does that mean? how does that affect what we should do in the future? What does that affect right here? What they have done, basically, is passed legislation. They've legislated legalized bribery. Now, let's say that Blue Cross Blue Shield gave $10 million this year to the Democrats, to the Republicans. Okay? Now let's see if we can't figure that out. Is that a gift? It's called a gift. The way these legislators that are down there now they call it a gift. Okay? Now tomorrow, after you've done this, you get the phone number of the headquarters of Blue Cross Blue Shield. And you call them and say, I need $1 million gift. I'm looking at a yacht, a place on the Gulf. I need a couple of new cars. I need to talk to your gift division. No, they're not going to send you $1 million check. That $10 million or whatever they gave to the Democrats and whatever they gave to the Republicans was a purchase. They purchased these 35 guys and the House people. Why? Because a lot of the people we've elected have got this sinful nature. Had somebody not long ago said, if you find people that have any of those, most of the time they've got all of those. I thought about that. I thought, no. Well, I've been sort of matching it up since then. Envy, drunkenness, discord, jealousy, fits of rage, selfish ambition. Okay? And if you don't think we've got people like that elected representing us now, you're wrong. I was in unclaimed baggage, sitting on the floor with my granddaughter, and Lowell Barron walks up, talks to my son-in-law. He knows my son-in-law because my son-in-law's daddy played basketball at Auburn and flies to some of the ball games, and Lowell gets a free flight to go to the Auburn ball games for however he does all that. And David brought up to him about some of his investments and stuff. David had a reason. He's got a friend that wanted him to see if he could broker some land down there. Land's gotten cheap and condos and all that. So he brought it up to Lowell about that. And Lowell's standing there, and they're standing there, and I'm in the floor. And my granddaughter's over there, and we're playing with little shoes. She's trying on some little shoes there at Unclaimed Baggage. This was about 4 months ago, I guess. They live down at the Gulf, and they were visiting us. And so Lowell, now it's Lowell and David, two men, big old guys. Okay? Now Lowell hadn't got his heels together and his head cocked like he does when he comes and talks to the ladies at the Council on Aging. He's in his manly deal. Big man deal. Like when he picks up the mayors and puts them in the car and threatens them. And he starts talking to David about his investments and money he's lost on it. Cursing, using the F word in every sentence. Before I could get my granddaughter picked up, she was on the other side of the aisle, and get away from there, I probably heard 20 F in this things. So I feel like that we've got elected a lot of people that are dealing with this right up here, and they've got a lot of those. I'm trying my best to be the spirit side of it. So that's love, joy, peace, patience. You people go to this. I'm not going to read it to you. I want some people that are watching this to look at this. It's Galatians, the 5th chapter, the 19th verse of the acts of the sinful nature. The 22nd verse is the fruits of the Spirit. Now, Shad McGill, Bob Starkey. We're trying. Shad McGill's got a family here. He's got 4 of his own children. He's got 2 foster children. Shad didn't take those 2 foster children in his house to win an election. He didn't know he was going to run just like I did. And he's been taking care of them because he goes on mission trips. He goes out to Oregon where all of the children, all kinds of teenagers, runaway children are. He's been doing that for a long time. I've gone to South America. I've gone to some places myself. That's the fruits. I enjoy doing that. I pay my own way. Out of my money, I pay for that. Shad pays for that. Y'all don't have to pay for that. Okay? Now, do you know what it'd be like? Foster children that hadn't had supervision and hadn't had correction, and to bring them into your house? They're going to be wild most of the time. Tough situation. That man and his wife are doing that, and he's asking you to represent you. He got a backbone, and he's got character, and he's got love and joy and peace and patience and kindness and goodness. And I hope the people that are around me, even people other than my daughter and my mother and my wife, will tell you that I've got some of those characteristics. Now, I'm telling you something this morning, the 19th day of October. What we've lost from here to 2010 is we're not having people to stand up because the system is corrupt. You got a man with $17 million ready to start his campaign. No. A campaign should be limited. We need to set limits. 1 year salary possible. If you make $50,000 as a senator, you can never spend over $50,000. You can't take the PAC money. We've got to get rid of the PAC. This is what we got to learn to do. It's not just these things, but all of this. Okay? That's how we got here. Right there. The people on the Mayflower came because of this right here. I want you to look at this. I want you to look at that. You look at those people on there. Do you see any joy? Look at their faces. Peace. Patience. They look like somebody just took their last dollar. That's the saddest bunch of people in that picture I've ever seen. And they're in control. They got all the control. They got $3.5 million of my money and your money to spend. And they're up there just awful looking. We either need to get those people changed to have love and joy and peace and patience in their life, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control. There's where it is, folks. If we don't get back to this kind of a man or a woman that's not getting the job to go on trips to Las Vegas, to that prostitution town where they can get away from their wife and their families, to do sinful natures, your sinful nature. If we can't get that, let me tell you what it is. It's back to Proverbs 1:7. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. And I can tell you, I've lived the last 33 years with that in the back of my mind. Now, I can tell you another thing. I hadn't done it right all the way. But this last 33 has been a whole lot better than that first 33, and I got Jesus. And they can have their $3.5 million, and they can have all of that without any joy. I'll take the joy. Thank you. That's today's Sunday school lesson. See ya.